A new intrigue is rapidly taking shape in the global tech industry. According to analysts who have worked with sources at Nikkei Asia, Caixin Global, and outlets close to supply chain networks in Shenzhen, Xiaomi has begun work on the most ambitious project in the brand's history, the creation of its own direct analog of the iPhone, not a copy in the usual sense, but a device capable of surpassing Apple in key parameters and reshaping the balance of power in the global smartphone market. Experts familiar with early engineering prototypes say Xiaomi has set itself a goal many once considered nearly impossible for a company that grew on the model of high power for a low price. The ambition is different now. The brand wants to reach a level where Samsung, Google, and even Apple will be forced to respond to Xiaomi's decisions rather than the other way around. Leaks about the project appeared unexpectedly. First, technical circles began discussing Xiaomi's unusual orders for new types of glass panels and non-standard compact batteries. Then, mysterious patents related to modular layouts, intelligent cooling systems, and processors designed specifically for premium mobile devices. Journalists at Taiwan Economic Daily claim the project is moving faster than even the industry expected. Their data indicates that Xiaomi is working on an entirely new smartphone lineup that has nothing in common with existing Xiaomi 14 or Mix models. A separate platform, a separate construction, and a separate ideology. Its internal codename is Project X, where X means exclusive, a product independent from competitors. What's notable is that the concept of an iPhone analog inside Xiaomi is interpreted very differently from what many outside observers assume. According to insiders, the company's engineers are not planning to copy Apple's design or replicate the philosophy of iOS. The main goal is to create a device that combines architectural purity, premium build quality, and material solidity at the level of the iPhone while offering what Apple does not: ultra-fast charging, advanced artificial intelligence, deeper camera controls, a hybrid autonomy mode, customizable software, and above all, a price that will be destructive for competitors from Cupertino. Analysts at Counterpoint Research state directly that if Xiaomi truly implements a new modular platform and its own mobile chip, its flagship will be able to compete with the iPhone not as a cheap alternative, but as an independent technological benchmark. According to sources working with production lines at BOE and Huaxing Optoelectronics, Xiaomi is testing a new type of glass unibody that visually resembles Apple's premium housings, but is created differently, with no internal screws, no protruding modules, and a solid composite structure that acts at once as a frame and as a shock-absorbing layer. This solution allowed components to be placed more densely and reduced the device's thickness to record levels without sacrificing the battery. At the same time, engineers are building their own ecosystem hub intended to become an analog of iCloud, only more flexible. According to insiders, Xiaomi plans to create a unified cloud profile connecting smartphones, laptops, tablets, TVs, watches, and even household appliances. This is the area in which Apple has been unbeatable for decades, and it is precisely here that Xiaomi is preparing its strike. In recent months, analyst reports have started indicating that Xiaomi is considering the development of its own processor for the premium lineup. This is not just about updating the old Surge chip, but about creating a full-fledged flagship SoC focused on artificial intelligence processing, graphics, and energy efficiency. According to the sources, this chip is expected to become the key advantage over the iPhone, and at the same time the most difficult stage of the project. Apple controls hardware and software completely, and now Xiaomi wants to replicate this model, but on an Android basis, with deep optimization similar to what Google does with Pixel. The camera became a separate challenge. Xiaomi is not trying to compete with the iPhone in video stabilization. It intends to make a leap in a different direction. According to leaks from Digital Chat Station, engineers are testing shooting algorithms based on real-time multi-frame analysis that use the neural engine directly, allowing the smartphone to produce photos comparable to a professional camera in real-world lighting conditions, rather than only in laboratories. The concept behind the new smartphone is not just to be an alternative to the iPhone, but its mirrored opposite. The iPhone offers minimal settings, a strict ecosystem, and a closed system. Xiaomi wants to offer a premium device in an open form, a powerful camera, powerful hardware, a flexible OS, customization, ultra-fast charging, and innovations that Apple will not implement for many years. Experts at Bloomberg Intelligence believe that if Xiaomi releases such a smartphone in 2026 to 2027 and keeps the price significantly lower than the iPhone, Apple will face a rare situation for itself, the role of a follower. This is already being discussed in professional circles. The most interesting part is how the industry's attitude toward Xiaomi has changed. For the past 10 years, Western media portrayed it as a brand inspired by others' ideas. But now, as the company demonstrates its own philosophy of monolithic devices, experiments with composite glass, creates unique display modules, and moves toward complete development autonomy, Xiaomi is suddenly turning into a player capable of dictating trends. According to specialists working at factories in Guangzhou, internal prototypes of the new smartphone look like a product created not for mass sales, but to show the world a new standard: a thin frame, a glass monolith, an under-display camera, its own AI module, and a construction executed at a premium art level. Even more alarming for competitors was the fact that Xiaomi, for the first time in years, began actively hiring specialists who previously worked in Apple and Google divisions. Not rank-and-file engineers, but mobile system architects, layout designers, and power management experts. Against this backdrop, VentureBeat analysts suggested that the company is forming not just a new smartphone, but a new engineering culture capable of elevating it to the level of mature technological giants. Insiders emphasize that within Xiaomi, there is growing confidence that the era of traditional Chinese strategies of catching up and optimizing is over. The company is now testing solutions that Apple, according to industry sources, is not even considering in the coming years. From combined glass composites to autonomous AI modules operating without a server connection. Already now, several research centers are registering a shift in consumer sentiment. Audiences in Asia, Europe, and India increasingly place Xiaomi and iPhone in the same category, comparing them not by price, but by technological level. This is the first signal that Xiaomi may truly become a global player capable of influencing Apple's rhetoric and product strategy. That is why analysts believe that Xiaomi is preparing to challenge not the iPhone as a device, but Apple as a cultural phenomenon. For the first time in many years, a Chinese company intends to reach a level where it not only competes with flagships, but creates its own legend. If the leaks prove true, the first official statements about the project may appear as early as 2026. And then the entire market will face a new reality. For the first time in 2 decades, Apple will have to respond not to attempts to copy its products, but to a threat that may be stronger, faster, and more accessible. And if Xiaomi truly does what is being discussed in private engineering circles now, the smartphone industry may enter a new era where the concept of premium is no longer synonymous with iPhone, but becomes a space for competition among genuinely bold brands.